Hello, speech class students. I am here to give you an overview of the first parts of the Capstone Learning Experience. I want you to keep something in mind. This video is only part of the big picture. So there are going to be some other steps that we're going to take in class and through Zoom and through future videos that will get us to the point where your Capstone Learning Experience is 100% complete. But I wanted to start off with the expectations related to this video. First, I want you to have the packet that goes with the Capstone Learning Experience. Now, for in-person learners, that was given to you on Monday or Tuesday of this week. If you miss class or you're a virtual learner, it is currently linked to the Google Classroom through a PDF. So I want you to have access to that. And, if you're in person and you have the packet in hand, I expect that you are writing down important pieces of advice that I'm giving you related to what will happen before your Capstone Learning Experience, during and after, the assignment overall, what the speech might be like, and even some life advice that I might give you directly in the packet. There are some blank pages that you will find put throughout the packet that should help you keep your notes organized. Now, if you're virtual, you can do one of two things. You can try to annotate digitally in your packet, which is totally fine. I would love to see how you accomplish that goal. Or you can take notes on a separate sheet of paper or on sticky notes. All of those things are a great idea. Or if you want to go a step further, you could even print out the PDF at home and annotate directly on that. So let's talk a little bit more about what the Capstone Learning Experience is. Now, one of the things that all of the students at Roosevelt High School get to do in the speech class is a Capstone Learning Experience. In previous years, it was something called a job shadow. But because of the state mandates for graduation requirements, I was able to get approval to rename the job shadowing experience the Capstone Learning Experience. So this helps all students that are a part of the class of 2021 accomplish one of their several graduation requirements. Now, that means that you get to do this assignment, and it's going to help you not only in the short term with the graduation requirements, but hopefully in the long term as well. Now, you may be asking yourself, what then is the difference between a job shadow and a capstone? Well, because of the requirements for COVID-19, there is one big difference, and that is our inability to require students at Roosevelt High School to go on a job shadow to gain knowledge about future career options. So instead of doing that, the Capstone Learning Experiences focuses more on finding a mentor that you can interview and then record that interview as a result. So you might be asking yourself a few questions, like, where am I gonna find a capstone mentor? Or wait, so can I use my family as a resource? Like, how can I use them as a resource? I'm really nervous about this. Should I be? And I'm actually kind of excited about this. Should I be? Well, I'm hoping that this video actually helps calm your nerves, gives you more of an overview of the experience. But if at this point of the video, you have yet to spend 10 minutes, 10 solid minutes reading the packet that corresponds with the Capstone Learning Experience, I need you to pause that video, set a 10-minute timer, and read the directions for the Capstone Learning Experience. It will make the rest of the video way more meaningful and relevant, and it will help you get some of the questions answered that you might find within the packet or that you're questioning right now. So go ahead, pause. 10 minutes. That's what you need to make sure that you know what's coming your way. All right, so after that 10 minutes, I'm really hoping that you are starting to get the grasp of what you're going to end up doing, because there are a lot of steps associated with the Capstone Learning Experience, one of which being finding a mentor. I'd like to introduce you to one of my very first mentors that I had as a result of the Capstone Learning Experience of Roosevelt High School, which again was formerly called the Job Share Experience. This is Paul Wozniak. At the time that I found him, I realized that I really wanted to invest my my time and my learning experience into somebody who was in the field that I was interested in pursuing. So I have a communications degree from the University of Northern Colorado. And one of the things that I did after taking a career survey is start to research careers that were really specialized using that degree. And one of the things I found out was being a DJ. That's right, I'm a DJ. For a radio station was actually something that my degree was really suited for. So I reached out to Try 102.5 in Windsor. This is how it went. I sent an email. That's right. Then I waited 3 days. Yeah, someone's gonna get a hold of me. I know they are. I waited 3 days. Nothing happened. So then I had to do something that you guys might have to do too after sending an initial email to try to find a capstone mentor. I called the radio station and they remembered my email but had forgotten to respond. So they sent me to Paul Wozniak's phone, and he picked up and he expressed that he would love to work with me. Now keep in mind, this experience happened long before COVID, but it started off my experiences doing the Capstone Learning Experience and job shadowing to help my students become better at what they were supposed to do. And you know what? I think Paul was kind of impressed by that.
Try 102.5. Try 102.5, the best variety of Flight Rock favorites online at try1025.com. I want to thank Mrs. Jennifer Borison for joining me this morning. She's a teacher from Roosevelt High School, and she came in for a job shadow because her students are doing job shadowing. So she basically wanted to see what it was all about. Now, that is a teacher that is going above and beyond and getting it in there, going and seeing for herself what it's all about. If you know of a teacher who is like this, a teacher who's doing a great job, your child's favorite teacher or your favorite teacher, please feel free to nominate them for Teacher Tuesday. It's brought to you by Who Hut Mongolian Grill and Star Painter Productions. We send one of our people out, get them a nice certificate that shows the recognition that they're doing a great job, plus some goodies from Who Hut Mongolian Grill and our sponsors. Teacher Tuesday on the website, try1025.com.
I have to tell you, I'm not sure why I still haven't gotten Teacher Tuesday. But what I can tell you is that as a result of my very first job shadow, because of my experiences with Roosevelt High School students, I feel like I have some advice and also can help you with finding mentors through a step-by-step process. So I want to go back and ask, I wonder if you wrote any of my advice down. So the first thing I did to find a job shadow mentor or a capstone mentor was I took a career survey. So have you done that yet? Have you taken one of the career surveys that's linked to Google Classroom? You haven't? Oh, well, if you haven't, then why don't you pause this video and go and take a career survey and then come back to the video. But those of you who have taken a career survey, it gives you a starting point to go to the internet and find somebody who you could possibly interview about their career. And I did that. I sent an email. And if you looked in the packet, you will find that there are emails in there, templates for emails that should help you draft your own. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Sometimes it just takes a lot of time and effort to find somebody in a career you are genuinely interested in pursuing after high school or as a result of a potential degree at the college level. So really spend time this week taking a career survey and finding potential capstone mentors that can help you along the way. that you could interview, that you can gain knowledge from. Now, I have been able to work with some amazing different people because of career surveys and Google searches. It really has been that easy for me because I've sent them emails, done follow-up phone calls, and they have helped me through the process. I've worked with a 7 News correspondent. I've worked with an entrepreneur. I've worked with a freshman in college. I've worked with, oh, yeah, that working with the Denver Broncos cheerleaders was kind of a fluke. I've worked with a detective at the Boulder Police Department. I've worked with a nonprofit organization. I've worked at the Windsong up in Fort Collins. But most recently, I actually completed my own capstone interview, just like all of you will. This is a professor at the Arizona State University. And one of the reasons why I wanted to reach out to him was not just because he ended up being a professor that I felt like I was making a connection with at ASU, but because of his titles. Not only is he a college professor and helps students out along the way through their online programs, but he's also a communications consultant. And I know that for some of you, you might be thinking, what is a communications consultant? But that's okay. It was something I was interested in, a career path that I wanted to see if it was going to be right for me. So I spent an hour and a half interviewing my former professor from ASU. And I asked him a whole series of questions. That's right, from the packet that I provided. And so you might be nervous by saying, well, I don't even know what to ask a potential capstone mentor. Well, good thing I put some questions in your packet. You might be saying, well, how do I record my interview? Well, I would use Zoom. How do I make sure that I ask the right questions? You can't make sure you ask the right questions because there is no right questions. All of them are perfect for an experience. Now, that's a great thing about what happened with my capstone mentor this week is that I realized that, you know what, I could probably learn more from him. And as a result, now that I have his contact information, his email, we've had this conversation, I now have somebody that I could reach out to again. You know, because if I want to become a communications consultant, he can help me down that path. If I want to teach public speaking at the community college level, I can reach out to him so he can help me through that. If at one point in my career I decide that I want to go back to school and get my PhD, he's going to be the first person that I reach out to. And that's why it's so important for high school students, not just teachers like me, but high school students to find a mentor. Because you may not be sure right now what career path is best for you, or you may not be sure which college is going to be the right fit for your potential career options. You may not know what to major in, what classes to take, or which classes to avoid. That's why a capstone interview, a capstone mentor, will end up helping you make some big choices in your life. And the great thing is that you don't have to just interview one person. If after your interview with your first capstone mentor, you end up being able to get more contact information for other people that you might be able to interview, I would suggest you do that. If you find out that after interviewing somebody that maybe you want to find out more about different careers, you should probably do that because there's really no limits now. You're able to reach out to people not only in the state of Colorado, but all across the country and all around the world. Let's talk about how we're going to do this capstone, not just me, but you, how we're going to do this capstone step by step, because there are parts of the capstone. And one of the first things that I'm going to ask you to do is a bit of career exploration. There are surveys, like I said, they're already linked on Google Classroom through my website that I need you to take. And when you're done with that survey, I want you to make sure that you screenshot those results. because that's going to be one of your first steps on thinking about what careers might be best for you. And then I want you to brainstorm based upon those surveys, the careers or a mentor that might be able to help you. There are doctors and nurses right here in Johnstown that have already worked with Roosevelt High School students via our Job Shadow program, and I guarantee that they would be willing to work with you too. Chiropractors, dentists, dental hygienists, mechanics, entrepreneurs, firefighters, police officers, all just right here in Johnstown and Milliken, who I guarantee if you reach out to them via email, that they will be willing to help you with a 1 hour long Zoom interview. And if they can't work with you for an hour, 30 minutes sounds ideal to at least get your feet wet in this experience. There are a whole bunch of different schools in our area, as you probably already know, especially if you've been in the district for a long time. That means that there are teachers at the elementary school and preschool levels, middle school and high school levels that you might be able to talk to. There are principals and vice principals, secretaries, counselors, sped teachers, paras. I mean, this is just in our school district. But the way that I look at it is if you already know a lot of people that are in Johnstown and Milliken, if you already know a lot of people who are part of our school district, I would suggest looking out of our little town, because then the sky's the limit. So what will finding a mentor that is out of our small town do for you? Well, it's going to broaden your perspective on what's out there past our towns. Let's say that you are thinking about going to CU Boulder and you want to interview a current college student who goes to CU Boulder to find out if that is your perfect next step. That sounds like a really wonderful capstone mentor. What if you want to work for an engineering firm that's located in California? Well, great, send them an email. What if you want to become an animator or work for a video game distributor or creator? Well, find them on the internet and email them. A lot of students in past years who were trying to complete job shadows found that one of the hardest things that they had to do was stay in the state of Colorado. Well, not the class of 2021. You guys can look outside of the state and find people that are all around the entire United States or even abroad. Now, these first two steps are really the hope for this week. So, career survey and brainstorm a career or find a mentor that you think might be right for you. You got to keep their contact information. Now, listen, their contact information can come in a lot of shapes and sizes nowadays, right? So, of course, you might be able to find them on the contact section of a website, or you might end up finding them via Facebook so you can direct message them. All of these are great options. So, I want you to keep in mind that even though as we move forward, I'm going to be using terms like email might look different for everybody. It's just a blanketed term. And so is brainstorming and finding. Because if you have already made a connection with somebody that is in a career that you are genuinely interested in, you may not have to brainstorm somebody brand new. You might be able to then reach out to them. Maybe your mom works with a nurse who you absolutely admire and you cherish that relationship and you really feel like they could be your perfect capstone mentor. Reach out to them. Maybe your dad works with an engineer that specializes in aeronautics and now that is your person. Awesome. You need their contact information, because one thing I'm going to suggest is that you don't try to interview somebody that's in your family. And the reason why is they're already in your network. But one of the things you might be saying then is, wait, I thought that maybe we could use our family as a resource. Absolutely, you can. You can ask them for contact information for a potential capstone mentor, because that mentor will help guide you through while your parents will support you through. So as we move into next week, there are some other things that we're going to focus on. And so steps 3, 4, and 5 are my my next week's goals, but I want to tell you about them now in case you're already nervous about reaching out to somebody. I want to tell you what's coming your way. We're going to be completing rough drafts of your email, the email that you're going to send to your mentor. Now, of course, I gave those of you who are in person, I gave you examples of an email in a packet that you can use to look at and then type out on your own. But those example emails are also digital on my website. So don't feel like you can't go to my website and copy and paste that template and put it into a Google Doc and make your own rough draft of an email. That's actually what I'm hoping you're going to do. So we're gonna step by step even through the email next week. I'm also going to prepare you for the possibility of having to make a follow-up phone call. So that's coming next week too. And I'm going to talk to you about the application for the Capstone Learning Experience. Now, there's some other aspects of the assignment that may be completed in different orders depending on each student. So keep in mind that the Capstone Learning Experience is a large assignment that comes with several steps. And the first 5 steps we're going to be completing together this week and next week. And the other steps will either be done in class as a part of the larger assignment, or it might be something that you're doing as a result of finding a mentor, doing the interview, and you might complete it before other students in the class. So that's why I can't say you're going to be doing it on any specific date, but I do have a due date, October 16th. That's when I need you to have that interview complete, because we're going to be doing some other things with the Capstone Learning Experience moving forward past October 16th. So you're going to need to have your interview done by then. So let's talk about this week's big to-dos. Again, I need you to take a career survey and screenshot your results. And then I want you to scour the internet, ask your friends and family, because you need to find a potential Capstone mentor and their contact information. Now, if you get really excited and you want to start moving forward with drafting a rough draft of the email that you're going to send, I generally trust seniors to be able to accomplish that goal. But if you want to make sure that you're hitting all of the requirements and you're anxious about reaching out to a Capstone mentor, that's our plan for next week. But you need the contact information in order to reach out to them. So please make sure that you have that before September 8th, so in that way we can use it to our advantage. So I want to show you that there are going to be places for you to find resources associated with the capstone. One is on my website. There are helpful links for the speech, for the project, all linked to the website. And you can find the link to this section of my website on Google Classroom. You can also find friendly reminders about what you're supposed to be doing right here on week 2's to-do list. And so there's even a link that you can click to make sure that it takes you to some of those surveys to help you complete those in a timely manner. Okay, so at this point, you might be thinking to yourself, wait, so all you have to do is take a survey and then find a mentor? It doesn't seem like it's going to take a lot of time. Well, for some of you, it may not. It may not take a lot of time, but there's other people who may still answer the question, what do you want to be when you grow up, with, I don't know. And so the process of finding a potential career or job shadow mentor in something that you're genuinely interested in doing after you graduate high school or graduate college, I mean, it's gonna take some time to think about. So that's why I want to give you the rest of this week, and I want to give you Friday to complete some work. So you might be saying then, what are we doing on Virtual Friday? Be clear, Ms. Borison. So you guys might be doing some of the following. You might still be working on trying to find contact information for a potential capstone mentor. And if you get excited and you find contact information for 3 potential capstone mentors, that sounds amazing. If you need permission to be awesome, but you want to interview more than one person about careers you're interested in, here's your permission. Please do that. The more people you know, the more that you build your network, the better off you're going to be. I want you to help your parents do your homework. That just sounds so weird. But I'm going to send you through Google Classroom, and I'm also going to send them an alert through Infinite Campus that there is a Google form that I need them to complete by September the 8th. So please help them with that. I don't know if they need help doing your homework, but I want you to make sure that you have them get that done. Okay. I also want you to check Infinite Campus. Make sure that you completed all the work from week 1. And if you thought you completed something and there is a 0 or missing in the gradebook, please contact me as soon as possible. So then that way we can make sure that all of that is taken care of. Please complete all work though that is listed on week 1 and week 2's to-do list. And if you're still having problems and you need me, if you need some help, please make sure that to just be maybe hopping on to my Zoom office hours on Friday. Yeah, I would love to see you. But maybe you might be doing some other things too. You might be doing an extra credit assignment that's linked on Google Classroom. You might be copying and pasting some of the things that you find from week 3's to-do list that's posted on Google Classroom onto a Word doc, so then that way you can print it out. Now you might be asking yourself, what the heck are you going to be doing on Friday, Mrs. Borson? Well, I'm going to be doing a lot. I'm going to be making sure your grades are all updated in Infinite Campus and on Google Classroom. I'm going to be setting up the digital sign-up sheet for our speech. Tell me a little bit about yourself, which is coming your way soon. That's right. I'm going to be making and posting week 3's to-do list on Google Classroom. I'm going to be hanging out on Zoom and this. In case you need to ask me any questions. And I'm going to be emailing your parents about next week and about their homework. Well, there you have it. What we were going to cover in Zoom today. So if you were in hours 3 or 5 and you're watching this video because we didn't have the internet, I'm really sorry, because I wanted to do these types of conversations via Zoom so I could see your faces and answer your questions right away. If you're a student that is missing class and you're doing this as makeup work, but I really did miss you. I wish I could have seen you. Or if you're just watching this to make sure that you're doing things correctly, thumbs up for you. But the way that I look at it is most people now, I feel like, might be watching my videos to see if I do something weird at the end of them. Okay, so now I guess I better do something weird. I have the perfect video though. The perfect video of the best mentor. So I thought that I would show it to you.
Penny for your thoughts.
I hate Brenda, and a bad guy hit me in the shin, and I peed all in my pants.
It's nothing a little music can't help. Rockin', rockin' and rollin'. Down to the beach I'm strolling. But the seagulls poking my head, not fun. I said, seagulls, stop it now. Everyone told me not to stroll on that beach. Said seagulls gonna come, poke me in the coconut, and they did, and they did, had me going like, nothing I could do but yell when these birds attacked me. When I tried to run, I fell, and then these kids started laughing, and then got hit in the neck with a hacky sack. Where did it come from? Now run, run, run. I can be a backpack while you run, 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 jump and stop. Put me down. I love to groove and boogie. Yeah.
Great.
Show you some dance moves.
No, I don't want you to.
If I had your giant feet out there on the beach, could have outrun those birds.
You're a psycho wiener.
Let me grab my beater.
Stop it, please. Don't hit me. Please. Don't hit me.
Come on, man, quit that banging.
Hey, what's that stank?
You put a fish in our basket.
Oh, yeah. I forgot I did that.
You owe me an apology.
Just be your backpack while you run. Swing from a hairy vine. I can be your backpack while you climb. Stand on one hand and lift rocks with your special gift. Run, 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 jump, now breathe. That's good. Like that. Like that. One day I was walking and I found this big log. Then I rolled the log over. Underneath was a tiny little stick. And I was like, that log had a child. Listen, boy, someday when you are older, you could get hit by a boulder. While you're lying there screaming, come help me, please. The seagulls poke your knees. Stop it now.
Yeah, whatever. You're sort of pitchy.
Didn't like it?
Listen, man, I'm not your friend.
Don't fall asleep.